So you're practicing intermittent fasting, but you're not getting the results you want. There are 9 sneaky ninja mistakes you might be making that you're not aware of. So I'm gonna shed some light on that, and then I'm gonna give you some ways to fix them. What's up, keto campers? My name is Ben Azadi. I'm a certified functional health practitioner on a mission to educate 1 billion people on planet Earth. I'm grateful for you for spending part of your day with me. Now here's a little overview on this video I'm going to share with you today. I'm going to break down the role toxins play with your fasting results, with your weight loss results, and with your longevity results. There are environmental toxins everywhere, and I'm going to link it to what it's doing to your body, how it's affecting your results. Then I'm going to break down the best foods to break your fast with, and I'm going to show you the combination you want to avoid at all costs unless you want to put on fat. And then I'm going to break down which liquids people typically drink during a fast that may be breaking the fast and the liquids that are okay to have during a fast. All right, the number one fasting mistake that I see is people are fasting way too soon. They get really excited about it. They watch my videos and they go all in with an intermittent fast before putting in some work. You see, fasting is like a muscle. You got to train it. You got to develop it. How do you do that? With the keto diet. You get fat adapted first. You wouldn't be a couch potato for 20 years eating the standard American diet, aka the stupid American diet, and then sign up for a CrossFit workout and do a 60-minute WOD, would you? No, you'd destroy yourself. You wouldn't get through that WOD. Same thing with fasting. You wouldn't be a sugar burner for most of your life and then just try to fast because bad things start to happen. The brain, which has been used to running off of glucose because it's a sugar burner, it starts to get low in energy. And your body does not have the capability to start breaking down fat. So you burn down your sugar reserves, your glycogen. Guess what happens? Your fat stores are blocked and your brain needs glucose. It can't access fat, so it can't get fuel from ketones. So it starts doing two things. Number one, your brain sends your body an intense craving for glucose, for sugar, for carbs. So you have these nasty cravings and you can't even focus. And if you have the best willpower in the world and you just push through that, the second thing that happens is your body's gonna start breaking down protein in excess and muscle, turning that into sugar via gluconeogenesis just to satisfy the brain. That's why we wanna make sure we get keto adapted before any kind of fasting. We wanna teach the body to keep insulin and glucose down to start utilizing fatty acids and producing ketones. That is the prerequisite, my friends. That's the first pillar of my 4 pillars that I teach. Now, if you want to learn a simple process to teach your body to make the switch, make the conversion to burning fat instead of sugar, go to www.ketokickstartguide.com, get my free ebook, and I'll show you the way. Otherwise, you're just going to feel like pure crap during your fast, and you're going to say, fasting is not for me. Some other symptoms I see with people who do fasting too soon, they go hypoglycemic, low blood sugar, they might even faint. They get dizzy, they get brain fog. They just don't feel good. They feel like crap. We don't want that for you. So let's get keto adapted first, and then you can get your fasting on. Number 2, fasting too much. Look, I'm all for fasting. I love it. It's been one of the most powerful ancient healing strategies that I've used in my life. But too much of a good thing ends up being a bad thing. The human body has 2 pathways. mTor, which stands for mechanistic target of rapamycin, that stimulates, insulin stimulates mTor. Protein stimulates mTor. That stimulates growth. It's anabolic. It's muscle building. It's good, but you don't want too much of it. Autophagy is when your cells start to recycle. We require up to 70 billion cells every day that need to get recycled and replenished. Autophagy is a switch that's turned on when you fast. Think of Pac-Man going through your body, eating up damaged cells and damaged protein. It is catabolic in a good way. It's just like your refrigerator that you have in your kitchen that has expired groceries in it. Well, what will happen if you just push those groceries towards the back of the fridge and then put new groceries in front of it? It's going to be disgusting. Mold, bacteria, disease. Same thing with your body. Your cells have expiration dates. So autophagy is a way to recycle that. Now, here's the problem. We don't want too much mTor. We don't want too much anabolic growth. For example, why does the average bodybuilder live to only 58 years old, which is about 12 years younger than the average? because they're constantly stimulating mTor. They're eating every 2 to 3 hours, high protein, high calories, because they want muscle growth, and that's their goal, and they accomplish it. However, when you're constantly stimulating mTor, you're duplicating cells. You're taking precancerous cells that are turning into cancerous cells because these cells are like, oh, we have all this energy coming in, let's duplicate ourselves. We don't want that. That's extreme, and that creates problems. On the flip side of it, when you're doing too much fasting, your body is too catabolic. Once it's done breaking down the bad stuff, it needs to get energy, so it's going to start breaking down the good stuff. So how do you know if you are fasting too much? Here's a perfect sign for you to pay attention to. You're cold all the time, not just during a fast. That's very, very normal. Nothing to worry about there. But you're cold all the time. You can't adapt to different temperatures from a cold room to a hot room. Your body doesn't adjust well. That's one thing to pay attention to. Number two, your hormones are wonky. You're irritable, and there's just something going on that's just not right. So you want to get this intuition. You want to really tap into your body to figure out what's going on here. And if you're experiencing that, do less fasting. Here's a caveat for the ladies watching this who are premenopausal, meaning you get your monthly cycle. The week leading up to your period is the week that you should not practice any fasting and even keto, because your body needs insulin spikes from healthy carbs this week. Think about it. Why do many of you ladies out there get all these cravings the week leading up to your period? Chocolate and carbs, because it's your body's way of telling you, hey, we need that insulin spike from carbohydrates to convert specific hormones so we can have a healthy monthly cycle. So when you get a healthy spike of insulin from ancient grains, from yam, yucca, squash, sweet potatoes that week, 5 to 7 days leading up to your period, your body's going to reward you for it. You're going to have a much healthier monthly cycle. It's going to be less intense, less cramping. It's going to help the egg, the uterine lining, shed more efficiently so you have a healthier period. Once you have the period, you go right back to fasting. All right, the third mistake that I see, you're breaking your fast with the wrong combination of foods. If your goal is to put on body fat, if you want to gain fat, then break your fast with this combination. Fat and carbs are not a good combination to break your fast with, because after a fast, you're very insulin sensitive, which is a great thing. We want sensitive hormones. So when we eat the carbohydrates, it's going to spike glucose. Insulin is going to grab that glucose, bring it to your cells, and it acts as a lock mechanism, a lock and key mechanism. The insulin is going to be the key that unlocks the receptor of the cell, and it's going to push the glucose in. But if you eat fat at the same time, guess what goes in right with it? The fat, and it creates more fat cells. So we don't want that. The ideal combination of macros when you're breaking your fast, it's either fat and protein or carbs and protein. So what are some examples of that? These are 4 amazing ways to break your fast. Bone broth. Kettle and Flour makes a great bone broth. You can break your fast with the bone broth. Avocados and eggs, another great option for you. Yes, avocados do have some carbs, very minimal. So that's a great option for you. Lean meat and sweet potato would be a great option for you as well. That's going to be protein and carbs. And then a keto smoothie, very high fat keto smoothie for the win. Any one of these would be a great way to break your fast if your goal is to lose body fat and to continue with your fasting results. If you've been breaking your fast with a fat carb combination, it's time to make the switch, and your body will start burning more fat because of it. All right, this might be surprising to you. The 4th mistake that I see is that people are not eating enough when they are eating. The cycle of life, our DNA, it's been this way for thousands of years, is feast, famine, feast, famine. So famine is when you fast, and then when you eat, you're supposed to feast. You're supposed to remind the body that it is not starving. This is the way we were designed to be. So we want to make sure that we're always eating until full when we're having our meals during our eating window. We're having high quality fat, high quality protein. We have these innate mechanisms that tell us we're full, stop eating. We want to get this amazing relationship with our body, this intuition to develop with our body to know when we're full to stop eating. When you do this, this is going to help actually accelerate your fat loss, because it's going to remind the body, like I said, that it is not starving. So if you do this the right way and you're not cutting your calories, you're not eating less, because fasting, it's not about eating less. It's about eating less often, giving your body a period of time so it could heal itself. This is how you do so. So when you're eating I recommend you feast. And if you do it the right way, you're actually going to increase your metabolism. There was a study that showed a 4-day water fast increased the metabolism by 13% because you have counter-regulatory hormones that all go up. All right, number 5, you're consuming the wrong liquids during your fast. I see this all the time, and it's a common question I get asked. The items on the left here require you to test, to verify, to know for sure if it breaks your fast, and it's different for everybody. So we have coffee, tea, bulletproof coffee, which is butter and MCT oil, just regular MCT oil, and then stevia and monk fruit. All of these are variable. You would have to test your glucose, your blood glucose with the machine like Keto Mojo, and here's how it works. If you test your glucose and it's 75, pretty damn good, and then you have any one of these items, you want to test it again 30 minutes after. If your glucose stays the same at 75 or drops, you're good to go. It does not break your fast. You're still getting a lot of the autophagy. If it's the opposite, if you see your glucose go up by more than 2 points, so 3 points or more, then it's breaking the autophagy, it's breaking your fast. It's very different for everybody. I made an entire video about this. It's called Acceptable Liquids on Fasting, and I broke down 17 different liquids. So it's on my channel. I'll put a link for it down below. The items on the right here, for sure, are breaking your fast. Artificial sweeteners, they break your fast. What is that going to be? It's going to be sucralose, Splenda. I don't like those. It's not good for you. Then we have branched chain amino acids. That breaks the fast. So check your pre-workout. If it has leucine in it, it's breaking the fast. Fruit juice. A lot of people saying I'm doing a juice fast. That's not really a fast. You're stimulating glucose and insulin. You're not getting any autophagy. Bone broth. I love bone broth, but it does break your fast. And then diet soda. Now, diet soda doesn't technically break the fast in a lot of people, but it's just not good for you. So I would say it's halting your results, and I would stop drinking that. All right, the number 6 mistake that I see is not replenishing your minerals and your electrolytes. When you start to fast and you're doing keto maybe, what happens is your body is going to burn through its sugar reserves, its glycogen and muscle reserves. You have about 2,000 calories stored there. When you burn through that, guess what happens? You're also dumping a lot of your electrolytes, a lot of your minerals with it because you're losing a lot of water. So a common mistake I see is people are not intentionally replenishing their minerals, replenishing their electrolytes. And when you don't replenish it, you get fatigue. You just don't feel good. You get brain fog, dizziness, muscle cramping, and there's more to this list, but these are the top 4 that I see. So if you're experiencing any of these 4, this is probably the reason why. So I recommend increasing your sea salt. Redmond's real salt is my favorite. Any unrefined pink Himalayan salt will do. Magnesium. I like magnesium malate. I'll put a link for this down below. Potassium. Potassium is the most important electrolyte, and we require 4,700 milligrams of it every single day. So throw in some green leafy vegetables when you're eating, during your eating window. Broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, also wild-caught fish. I have a video on my top 5 keto sources of potassium. I'll put it down below. Then we have water, high-quality water. So make sure you're just increasing this on a daily basis, and these will go away. Number 7, you're not working out during your fast. Yeah, you read that right. You heard that right. One of the biggest game changers for my health has been training, exercising in the fasted state. I feel so good when I'm lifting up weights, when I'm sprinting, when I'm getting in a good workout in a fasted state because I don't have any energy being used for digestion. Instead, I'm using my energy to crush my workout. And I have this clarity and I feel much better as opposed to doing a workout in a fed state. Another thing that happens is you have healthier mitochondria when you work out in the fasted state. You force a stressor on your mitochondria. What is the mitochondria? It's in your cells. It produces energy. It is the power plant of your cells. And if you want to feel good and live a long life, we want healthy mitochondria. So I call training in the fasted state mitochondrial fitness because you stress it and it makes it stronger. Just like when you work out and you break down muscle, you make it stronger when it grows back. So that's one reason. And then human growth hormone surges, especially if you continue fasting 2 to 5 hours after your workout. You're going to continue burning fat, just blasting it away. And then human growth hormone is not only fat burning, it's anti-aging and it's muscle preserving. So you have nothing to worry about. If you do it the right way and you're already fat adapted and you're training in the fasted state, the body will not tap into its muscle stores until you reach 5% body fat or less. It's smart. It knows what to do. There's nothing to worry about here. When you hear somebody say, oh, you're going to work out in a fasted state, or you're doing intermittent fasting, you're going to burn all your muscle. The body is not that stupid. That's like saying, oh, let's store firewood all summer long to get ready for winter when it's going to be so cold outside. So winter rolls around, we have all this firewood stored up, and then we go and we chop up our couch and use that for fuel. No, the body's not going to do that. It's going to burn fat until it needs to, which is 5% body fat or less, which is freakishly low. Nothing to worry about there. So this have been a game changer for myself, and I see it for a lot of my clients who want to ramp up the last 5 to 10 pounds of fat loss. This is how you do it. All right, number 8. This is going to be surprising to you guys, but we live in a world where there's toxins everywhere. Toxins come from car fumes. Toxins come from cologne and perfume. Toxins come from cleaning sprays. One of the biggest sources is your laundry detergent. Yeah, the Tide, the Gains, the conventional detergent you might be using, loaded with toxins, and here's the problem with it. We're breathing in our clothes 24 hours a day pretty much, because if it's not our clothes, it's our bed sheets. The only time we're not breathing it in is when we're showering, and if you don't have a shower filter, toxins are going into that water as well. So let's face it, it's everywhere. So the problem is this: when you start to fast, you're burning fat cells. Great. However, a lot of these toxins are fat soluble, so they're in our fat cells, and our body actually creates fat cells for these toxins to go into. So when you start burning it off, where do the toxins go? In our bloodstream. So if you're not intentional about having a toxin removal protocol, you're going to end up auto-intoxicating yourself, and you're going to feel miserable. You're going to fast, and you're going to feel like pure crap. It's kind of like those street sweepers that go down through your neighborhood, through your city, that are taking all the dirt and debris off the street and just redistributing it all over the place. It's not really cleaning the streets, it's just redistributing all the dirt. Same thing happens when you're burning fat cells. The toxins are becoming redistributed. So we want to make sure we're doing a couple things here. Number one, we're stimulating healthy bile production, because bile, which is stimulated by the liver, stored in the gallbladder, breaks down fat, and it helps remove toxins from the body. In fact, the amount of healthy bile you have, it's proportional to the amount of toxins you could remove from the body. So we want to make sure we're doing that. How do we do that? Eat bitter-rich foods like ginger, coffee, make sure it's organic, dark chocolate, dandelion. You could have dandelion greens or the tea, and also I'll throw in arugula. All this helps stimulate healthy bile production. I also recommend drinking a digestive bitter. Moonshine makes a great digestive bitter. I'll put a link for it down below. Taking an ox bile supplement before your meals helps stimulate bile. And then the most important tip on here that I've seen make the biggest difference for those who fast is Bind from Systemic Formulas. You take 4 of these before bed. The liver dumps around 2 and 3 a.m. in the morning. It dumps bile. It has all those toxins, so if you don't have something to catch it, it'll be auto-intoxicating. So Bind is that catcher's mitt to take it out of the body, those toxins, and put it into the toilet. So I'll put a link for that down below. This has been a game-changing protocol for a lot of my fasting clients. All right, the last one on the list. You're sticking to the same fasting schedule and you plateaued. We got to change things up here. The same way a great personal trainer will always change up the workouts to keep the body guessing, we want to do the same thing with our fasting schedule, because adaptation is key. When the body has to adapt, guess what happens? Bad cells that we have in the body, they don't adapt well. And good cells, they get stronger. So you get healthier cells, and you're teaching the body that there's change. You're not letting the body get comfortable. You're not letting the body plateau. So you're going to continue with fat loss, continue with all the other amazing benefits of fasting as well. So if you've been doing a 16-8 schedule for, I don't know, a few weeks or a few months, throw in a 24-hour fast 1 to 2 times per week. If you haven't been doing any block fasting, throw in a block fast every quarter, 3 days, 5 days. It's important to mix things up. If you've been doing too much fasting, do less fasting. I promise you, when you keep changing things up, the body will give you continued sustainable results. I want to thank you, and I want to also ask you, out of these 9 mistakes that I see, which one resonated with you the most? Just put a number down below, 1 through 9, which is you might have to go back and see which was which, but put a number down below. I want to see which one resonated with you. I want to get a kind of a poll here and a consensus. If this was valuable to you, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button on my channel and the bell, because I go live every week and I do live Q&As, so you get notified when you hit the subscribe and the bell. I'm dedicated to bringing you brand new videos on keto and fasting 3 to 4 times a week, so stay tuned for that. I want to thank you for your time and your energy and spending part of your day with me. Have yourself a grateful day.